Time now for the WoezorTV report. Let's take a look at the headlines. Thanks so much for joining us. Now let's settle in for the details of the stories. Following the devastating June floods that claimed lives and displaced thousands across 7 regions, President John Dramani Mahama led the national general cleaning exercise as government intensified recovery efforts. Joining residents and security personnel in affected communities, the president called for a lasting change in public attitudes towards sanitation, insisting that prevention prevents future floods in shared responsibility. Belinda Kwanzaa has more.
John Dramani Mahama joined residents, security personnel and local authorities over the weekend for the National General Cleaning Exercise as part of government response to the devastating June 29 and 30 floods. The president toured parts of Accra, including Chadu and Alajo, where he inspected the Sultan works and joined residents and the military in the cleanup. He said the exercise should become a sustained national effort to improve sanitation.
And so this will be a continuous exercise. And at least once a month, let's set aside one day and all of us come out and clean the city. And with the help of the waste management companies, we'll be able to keep this city clean and also free of flooding.
President Mahama also announced plans to revive 6 idle waste transfer stations in Accra to improve waste collection and sanitation management.
We've had 6 transfer stations that were built more than 9 years ago. Unfortunately, they were not put into operation. So we've asked the contractor to open the transfer stations, that's Zoom Lion, so that the Aboboyas and others can take the garbage to the transfer stations. They don't need to go all the way to Amasama into the Irikops. If they dump at the transfer station.
Meanwhile, Deputy Chief of Staff said preventing future floods would require a change in public attitude towards sanitation.
We need to be serious as a people and realize that these are health hazards. If you stay within these rubbish and stench for a period, you will surely get sick. And we don't understand why we have frequent headache, we have tummy aches, we have typhoid fever and others, and we'll blame other situations for it. I think that there's a serious need for some behavioral change that of course will not take months, will not take years, but people must be responsible.
Beyond the cleanup exercise, President Mahama presented medical and sanitation supplies to the Mambubi Polyclinic and the 37 Military Hospital to support ongoing recovery efforts. The 2-day National General Cleaning Exercise brought together security agencies, government officials, local authorities and residents as part of government's effort to restore sanitation and strengthen flood prevention measures after the recent disaster. Reporting for WoezorTV, Belinda Kwanzaa.
Now moving on from that, Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Samuel Kaba Akoria, has urged citizens to embrace individual responsibility for sanitation and hygiene to prevent costly cholera and typhoid outbreaks, emphasizing that personal action is more effective than reactive measures. He highlights the need for communities to maintain clean surroundings, manage waste properly, and contribute to local sanitation efforts rather than relying solely on government resources. Dr. Akoria made these remarks during the service's participation at the National General Cleaning Exercise.
Service warns that recurring disease outbreaks and flood responses risk draining the national budget. Officials say funds meant for critical infrastructure like roads are routinely diverted to fund emergency health interventions. Speaking during the National General Cleaning Exercise in Accra, The Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Samuel Kaba Akoria, stressed that preventing waterborne diseases is significantly cheaper than treating them. He noted that outbreaks severely disrupt the economy and place an exhausting burden on frontline medical staffs.
We are looking at the fact that if there is cholera outbreak or typhoid outbreak, it's more expensive to take care of the people as to if we prevent it. So the exercise we are doing here even is in the name of all the health workers, because when there is outbreak, all the health workers, they are mobilized. They will have to leave their family and run special terms in the hospitals, shifts, and we have to get money to get drugs. We have to create bed space, and we all know what it means if there is an outbreak and people will not be able to go to work, and we have to prevent that.
Dr. Kaba challenged local traders and transport workers to take ownership of public hygiene rather than relying entirely on state intervention. While the government continues to provide health education, he emphasized that structural progress depends heavily on individual behavioral changes.
I can tell you wash your hands with soap and running water. I can say all that, but I cannot hold your hands and wash for you. You get what I mean? I can't go house to house with my people to hold people's hands to do that. But we can sensitize them and say, you need to do this. And we want people to understand that the individual responsibility is extremely, extremely important. And my message to Ghanaians is more of the media helping us a lot, because they listen to you a lot.
Dr. Kaba also cautioned residents against burning collected refuse due to the respiratory risk it poses to asthmatic children. He advised communities to instead coordinate with municipal assemblies to ensure proper waste collection and disposal. For WoezorTV, Rachel Asamoah.
Still on sanitation, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, as part of its duties, inspected the compliance of the President's post-flood cleanup directive. Touring major commercial centers and flood-prone communities across the capital, the exercise aimed at clearing debris, desilting drains, and restoring sanitation after recent floods. Also saw authorities enforce the mandatory closure of shops and workplaces.
Became a hive of activity as heavy equipment, sanitation workers, security personnel and residents joined forces to embark on a post-flood cleanup exercise. From Kanishi to Circle, Alajo, Makwala, Aveno, Agbogboshi and Ukanshi, teams swept streets, desilted drains and cleared refuse as part of the President's directive for a nationwide post-flood cleanup exercise. The inspection team, led by the Accra Mayor Michael Kpaku Aluti, His Royal Majesty King Taki Teiko Chu II, included the Greater Accra Regional Minister Linda Obenewa Oklu, officers from the Ghana Police Service, Ghana National Fire Service, Ghana Immigration Service, Zoom Lion, and members of the AMA Task Force. The exercise, held from 6 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon, focused on evacuating refuse and disaster waste, desilting drains, fumigating affected areas, and clearing flood debris from roads, markets, lorry parks, and other public spaces.
We are here to make sure we clean the whole everywhere. And if we can do this, we have to make sure we are on the ground. So since 3 a.m., we were trying to collect the rest of the rubbish in town. But we have done that, moving people to Aveno, Circle, Bubuashi, Dakuma Junction, Ukanshi, Agbogboshi to the Circle Dubai, the top, for them also to sweep.
The inspection also revealed strong public participation, with residents working alongside sanitation crew to clear gutters and remove silt from drains. The AMA Task Force officers also enforced the directive by confiscating goods from traders who defied orders to close their shop during the exercise. Officials say the 2-day exercise goes beyond routine sanitation, serving as a coordinated post-flood recovery effort aimed at reducing public health risk and restoring the capital's drainage systems.
Yeah, President, or Nansu Yanamati, to watch it, Montier say, dear who's the team. So far as he figure and take on a idea. Down now, one of it. And Lutina Mapia made him one background, say, yes, sanitation day.
For WoezorTV, Ellen from Pong.
Now away from sanitation, let's do other things where the Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Elizabeth Ofosu-Adjare, has pledged government support to restore flood damaged sections of the Three Dreamers Manufacturing Company Limited. Following devastating floods on June 29, the minister told the facility to ensure the rapid recovery of a factory that employs over 600 workers. During the visit, Madam Ofosu-Adjare promised a thorough investigation into third-party drainage failures that triggered the disaster.
Agribusiness and Industry, Elizabeth Ofosu-Adjare, has assessed the extent of the damage at the Three Dreamers Manufacturing Company Limited in Tema. The facility was heavily impacted by the devastating June 29 floods, disrupting operations as a vital local employer. Three Dreamers is a massive manufacturing hub critical to Ghana's import substitution strategy, producing biscuits, confectionery, and toilet rolls locally. While sections of the bread and biscuit factories remain operational, the floodwaters severely damaged the bubble gum processing unit. During her visit, Madam Ofosu-Adjare emphasized that the government views the factory's recovery as a high priority. She announced collaborative efforts to bring the plant fully back on stream, while assuring the ministry will investigate the third-party drainage or precautionary issues that led to the unprecedented flooding.
I have extended the sympathies of Excellency John Dramani Mahama because I informed him when you called me before we even spoke. And he has actually asked me to see what we can do to make sure that you come back on stream. And exactly what I've discussed with you, we hope that you should be able to work for all of them to come back to work. I know some are working, some are at home. So we work together with you to bring all of them back to work. It's very unfortunate. Sometimes people don't take precautionary measures and then they get accidents. It's very painful if the person has taken all the precautionary measures. They've never had any problem with flood, but this third-party matters are matters that we'll delve into and deal with it.
Executive Director of Three Dreamers, Bismarck Ansa, expressed his gratitude to the minister for the prompt governmental response.
I want to take this opportunity to thank Honorable for what he have done. I'm so surprised because when this thing happens, next day he sent his team to come and visit us. And I didn't know that even he will come here. Today I was surprised that team like this, more than 35 people, come and visit us here. We are very, very grateful.
The ministry hopes that through this public-private partnership, that hundreds of affected workers at Three Dreamers will soon be able to return to their normal shifts. For WoezorTV, Rachel Asamoah.
Away from that, Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa has announced that the Bahamas will recruit 300 Ghanaian teachers this year under a new bilateral cooperation agreement aimed at expanding labor mobility between the two countries. The announcement followed official negotiations held during Mr. Ablakwa's visits to the Bahamas, where he represented President John Dramani Mahama at the country's 53rd independence anniversary celebrations. He described the recruitment as the first phase of a broader education partnership between Ghana and the Bahamas. According to the Foreign Affairs Minister, the agreement builds on the positive reputation Ghanaian professionals have earned in the Bahamas, particularly nursing serving under an existing bilateral agreement. And away from Bahamas, the Ghana Airports Company Limited has deployed new state-of-the-art security screening equipment at the passenger checkpoints of Terminals 2 and 3 of Accra International Airport in a move aimed at strengthening aviation security while significantly improving the passenger screening experience. The new screening technology, according to the airport, will allow passengers keep laptops and other large electronic devices in their cabin baggage during security checks. They will also no longer be required to remove their shoes and belts unless selected for additional screening through security profiling. Under the upgraded system, passengers can also keep liquids, aerosols and gels in their cabin baggage during screening, as separate screening of these items may no longer be necessary. However, GSEL stressed that existing aviation security regulations remain in full force, with liquids exceeding 100 milliliters per container still prohibited in cabin baggage. Time now for some international news. Now, Nigeria's military says it has freed all 44 pupils and teachers who were abducted 2 months ago from schools in the southern state of Oyoe and arrested some of their captors. The freed captives are currently receiving medical treatment at an undisclosed hospitals and will return home at a later date, Army spokesman Jonah Danjuma said in a statement issued on Friday evening. A renewed wave of mass kidnapping has hit Nigeria in recent months, and insecurity remains a major issue ahead of next year's general election. The government says it is stepping up security around schools and vulnerable communities, but critics say it is not enough. Now, this brings us to the end of the WoezorTV Report. Many thanks for staying with us. I am Karen. Now, Quartey.